Oh, we're recording. Thanks for telling me, myself. What's up, sentients and synths? I'm currently working on my second game, Cyberlike, Anarchist Algorithm. It's a roguelike based on the Porklike engine. For those of you who don't know, a roguelike is a game similar to the dungeon crawler Rogue, which randomly generated dungeons every time you played it, and if you died, you died. Porklike is a roguelike made by Christian Miliuski for LazyDevs Academy a few years back. So far I've been following a tutorial on how to build my own game in this engine, so I'll be brief and just cover what goes into a game like this. First, I made some basic map tiles, a player character, and a security program character because I decided my game was going to take place in cyberspace. I took a lot of inspiration at first from the System Shock series and how it is with flying through cyberspace there, but I quickly decided that a more physical representation would make sense for this format and switched to more Tron aesthetic, which evolved over time. More on that later. In order to slide from tile to tile in a turn-based fashion, the character has to be pulled to the destination tile instead of pushed by the controller button. Once I got that written, I learned how to flag map tiles with different markers to more easily indicate that a group of map tiles was walkable or not. Would have been nice to know that for Pony 9000 with the gravity walls, but live and learn, and then buy disposable diapers. Soon I'd made a test map to play around in and learned how to shift colors in the Pico-8 palette to get different colors from the original 16-color palette. This is difficult to work with, but a lot of fun, because I had to decide early on what colors would stay and which had to go. Soon I was learning how to make some basic AI that lets the enemies have line of sight to the player and follow the player to last known location if they lose track of you. These enemies speak Japanese, in keeping with a lot of cyberpunk tradition. When they see you, they say me, which means I. And if they lose track of you, they say ka, which is just a verbal question mark. I know this isn't the best use of the language, but I needed single-character Japanese words that could be typed in the katakana or hiragana scripts available in the Pico-8. If you have any ideas, please put them in the comments. I briefly played around with changing the font, but it just took up too much space on the screen and didn't feel right for all the shenanigans that I have planned. I learned how to make a glitch effect by assigning random memory values to other memory values, and that made the game over screen. I also wrote a script that will make the flatline text jiggle, but only a little bit. I'm thinking about taking that same glitch effect and applying it for when you get hurt, but I don't know how good it's going to look, so we'll see. After that, he taught us how to make Fog of War in a menu screen, and I added a cool user pick to the menu screen. I had decided that the main character would be a lady-type person, thinking of Metroid, and how the main character was, surprise, a woman, but decided that I'd be a bit more upfront about who the Netrunner is. Pretty soon I got the idea to make a second character to play as. This was after someone said it would be cool to be able to be stealthy. Since this system is based on ramming your character into enemies like two G.I. Joes having a fist fight, I added a stealth stat that reduces your enemy line of sight without compromising your own. The characters are now Laura and Viper. I'm glad I put this in early on because adding new options after the game's been made is kind of a pain in the dick. I'm looking at you, Pony 9000 bastard mode. Then I learned how to throw items and made a second song for the game. I mean, Dr. Mario and Tetris let you pick the song, so why not? And then put everything into a test map, which is now playable on the Pico-8 boards. I'm recording a part 2, so stay tuned for that. There's a lot more that's gone into this game's development. Special thanks as always to my data leaks and my onion runner Mrs. Arby's here on the screen. You are the developers that make my film grain opaque. If you'd like to be drenched in chemicals and held up to bright lights, you can support me on Ko-fi or Twitch. If you'd prefer a stop bath, you can support me for free by clicking like, typing a comment about how nobody uses film anymore, subscribing to my channel, and sharing my videos with your extremely online grandmother. Oh, and it says here in my script, thanks to my editor, who is this?
Call my name.
Live? Live? Yay? Oil? Avia? Can't read that. My editor who makes regular content possible. Catch you next time on the data stream, babe. Why is my hand doing that? Down. That's weird. I hate that. This other hand is out. Not a hand. It's not a hand. Everything's good. For those of you who don't know, a roguelike is a game similar to the dungeon crawler Rogue, which randomly generated... That's a typo. That's why it's messing me up. For those of you who don't know, a roguelike is a game similar to the dungeon crawler Rogue. Alright, what's going on with my hand? I'll give everybody a big hug. For those of you who don't know, a roguelike... Point to my eye. Can I do it up here? When they see you, they say meh, which means I. Ah. Oh, that's so funny. But some of that's gonna get in the outtakes. Why am I so out of breath? I'm looking at you, Pony 9000 bastard mode. Point. Point. Oh, that's terrifying. I'm looking at you, Pony 9. Then I learned how to make the character throw items, and